Naomi Wolf has been a prominent person in this country and a prominent Democrat for more than 30 years. She's one of the founders of third-wave feminism. She worked for Bill Clinton and famously advised Al Gore. Late last year, she voted for Joe Biden. You've almost certainly seen her books. She's written a lot of them. We didn't think we agreed on much with Wolf, to put it mildly. Yet less than a week after the last election, Wolf surprised a lot of people by tweeting this. Wow, where did that come from? More to the point, how did this faithful lifelong Democrat reach that conclusion? Maybe because whatever her preconceptions, Naomi Wolf has been paying attention. That's true for a lot of us, actually, regardless of who we voted for. People who have been watching events carefully may find they have very different views in the views they once had. The reason for that is simple: reality itself is changing very fast. All over the world, countries that once seemed like bulwarks of traditional liberal values, freedom of assembly, property rights, freedom of speech and conscience, have suddenly abandoned their long-standing traditions of protecting the individual and now resemble police states. The change has been sudden and dramatic, and the pretext for it, of course, has been COVID. Consider Canada, our sprawling, ice-covered neighbor to the north. Not so long ago, Canada was considered such a stable and restrained place that its main problem was being uninteresting. Nothing seemed to happen there. Not anymore. Since COVID arrived, the Canadian authorities bear no resemblance to the taciturn Mounties you may remember. Like Burmese generals putting down a coup, nothing is too harsh for their own citizens. On New Year's Eve in the city of Gatineau, Quebec, a group of friends gathered in a private home. No one was selling fentanyl, no one was plotting a homicide. There was just a group of relentlessly polite Canadians celebrating the new year. Apparently, somebody called the police, who fined everyone at the gathering CA $1,500 apiece, about US $1,200, then arrested the homeowner. He wasn't charged with attacking a cop or spreading COVID, which no one claimed he did. His crime was described as refusing to provide personal information to the authorities. To review, police barged into his home, and when he didn't answer the right questions quickly enough, they arrested him. That is not a public health measure, it is intentional humiliation. By the way, when sharp-eyed people on social media pointed out that some of the police officers who responded to the home weren't wearing masks, the police in Gatineau explained they didn't have to follow public health laws because it was a public health emergency. So just to show you how serious they are about stopping COVID, Canadian police were willing to spread it themselves. Neither Canada's so-called Liberal Party nor its supposedly Liberal Prime Minister had any problem with this. It's not just Canada, the entire Anglosphere is moving toward authoritarianism that nobody seems to be noticing. In the formerly free UK last weekend, a group of people in the West Midlands created what authorities later described as a makeshift club with a bar, VIP area and a dance room with a DJ. Naturally, the authorities sprang into action. They dispatched a thermal imaging helicopter, they kicked down doors. It was a threat worse than ISIS and they acted like it. There may be less door kicking going on in this country, but the result is the same: traumatized citizens and destroyed lives. The ability to work was once considered one of the most basic human rights, but then a lot of things were once considered basic human rights. Remember my body, my choice. Now it's your body, sorry. Actually it's Bill Gates' body. Now, Bill Gates isn't God, just a big shareholder in Microsoft. But since COVID, Bill Gates has gained extraordinary powers over what you can and cannot do to your own body. Bill Gates would like you to take the coronavirus vaccine. That's not a request. If you don't comply, You could lose your job. Think we're exaggerating? Read this story about a waitress from Brooklyn.